really. But now the almost like one you should like. I think it's kind of like, okay.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming tonight to the final OPA meeting of the year. It's good to see so many people here. I want to sort of like get started quickly because I want to be respectful of the police and fire department who got to go off to your city safe. As you know, Sean Besser, president. After we do the speakers, we'll do a quick round of introductions for people because we haven't done that in a few months. It'll be good just to get some names with faces. But without haste, let's hand it over to the police department.
Right. Good evening. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Today with me is my coworker, Officer Pardo. She's currently assigned to the background unit. Everybody knows Officer Hollowell. And in the back is Officer Tago. Halima cannot be here today to go over the stats, but I'll just kind of talk about what stood out for the last month. We had 7 burglaries and carports. So just as a reminder, those who have carports and storage lockers, make sure you guys lock it. If you have anything valuable, buy a really good lock. A lot of people are leaving their bicycles out and they're getting stolen. So just make sure you guys register your bicycles. You can go on our website. We have a link for that. And then we had 6 pickpocketing incidents, mostly from the Victorian. So those who visit there, keep your belongings with you, right? Mostly keep your stuff in your front pockets and just be aware of your surroundings. Steve, do you have anything?
I know that these groups is partying on Fridays at the Victorian.
I know.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy and yeah, so the biggest thing I've heard great feedback from Ocean Park residents that live near what's that park? Yeah, Ocean Park, that we've got some feedback that is good from the e-scooters have kind of slowed down, so that's good. If you should see them in the future, don't wait till you get frustrated. Please call us immediately. Let us know that they're riding in the area. We have more officers that have got our complex little card and that they're ready to do impounds and they're kind of school. So that would be very good if you do that. Mostly on the main street, I'm seeing good business, people moving back and forth. My only real problem is people double parked on top of the bicycle lane. That's a lot of like the Uber Eats, the Grubhub and all those folks. I've been talking to mobility. We're trying to create more app zones, which allow the people to stand or park and then go get the items and then come back to the zone. But that's going to take a lot of training through culture because a lot of times we don't get them to comply. Too many tickets, and then I see them in traffic court and they're like, can you please work something out with me? And I'm like, I told you when I cited you that this is going to happen. So what happens to these platform drivers is they get 3 or 4 tickets and they've got all these points and then they're kind of just out of chances because they go to different cities and they're like, the app told me to double park and make a U-turn in front of all these cars. I'm like, the vehicles, you are in charge of the vehicle. So I don't know if you know anybody who drives on the platform, but those are some of the things that we're working on. But aside from that, I think we're looking fairly good. We can take questions. If anybody has any questions for the police department.
Related, Saturday morning, we had a street person, I guess, make a mess at my garage, poke holes in the door with a screwdriver, and there was a policeman that showed up and was just following him as he was walking. Was that incident at the radar up?
Hit the radar per se. I'm glad that we had police officers. We get hundreds of calls a day, particularly between B2 and 1, the tourist beat, and then the beat that handles the airport and traversing. So unless you call us and magnify a particular incident, something like that probably wouldn't get our attention unless it was repetitive or a habitual problem. So, but we were glad that the police responded quickly.
Well, my neighbor called him.
No, but I'm saying, was it quick?
Or as he happened to be there and the policeman was just following him as he was screaming at the world and.
Well, I mean, that's the best, if your police department's there dealing with the problem, that's all we can hope, dream, or ask for, so. Anybody else?
Do you want to share any details about the downtown substation that's opening, or do you have any?
Oh, I saw that on the newsletter. So it's really funny. I talked to Ava today, who is at, she's working for the city manager's office, and they're helping with the design of the downtown substation. They have a meeting with Lieutenant Green, the IT people, and the 2 downtown services sergeants for final design. So they're looking for, I think it's 864 square feet of real estate. It's gonna be right next to Tesla per se. It's like Tesla, and then it's there. We already have our markings in the windows so you can see and kind of get used to where it's gonna be. But they're just trying to do some finalization as it applies to the IT, where the furniture is gonna go, how many spaces they're gonna have. Is there anything more particular that?
No, just wanted,
Oh,
just to share with people.
So I think folks are very excited about the downtown substation, that it's gonna be in a more focal place. We're hoping that it brings more business to Santa Monica Place, that they will have officers there, and officers will be able to complete reports. In the past, we've built spaces that without the IT support, because our computer aided dispatch and our report writing is integrated, we need to be able to be on a LAN system that connects with that. And so we would have to return to the station. So the only other place that we have it is the pier. So it'll be great to have it someplace else in the city where we can do a full completion of report. Even if you arrest somebody, you can drive back to the substation and complete the report there. So some of the technology in the past didn't allow us to be away from the station to complete the report. Even that kiosk that we had at by Ugo's Coffee doesn't have any technology in it, so we're not able to do much but make it posts like you would see. So pretty excited about that, and I don't think you guys get down to the skating rink yet? Skating rink just opened on Friday, so that was good. Me and Jeff had a very passionate conversation. So that's how me and Jeff talk. We don't know how to talk. New Yorkers, I always talk to them. Let's go.
Jerry, did you have a question?
Wondering, I just saw something on Facebook that says Pie with the Police. Elderwell Adult Day Program, 1529 Wilshire Boulevard.
Right.
Sounds great.
So this Wednesday, if you're free, stop by, come say hi. For pie with the police.
My favorite pie is Dutch apple pie, and I guess the calendar is renamed it to French apple pie. So get into it with a Dutch person.
Yeah.
You can't just rename a pie. It's a certain thing that goes.
I think Dutch apple and French are 2 different types of. Yeah.
But when I looked at it, it was the French look. Everything was the same. I'm sorry, the Dutch was the same as, what's the difference?
Well, the French is the crumble on top.
So what's the Dutch?
Dutch is the.
Lattice.
Pie.
The Dutch is the flat,
Yeah.
not the crisscross.
Oh, it could be flat or crisscross.
I'm gonna do my ChatGPT research today. Well, that's great. I'm glad that I'm gonna have fun with this. So come on, we're gonna have an array of pies. To include the Dutch or the American.
1529 Wilford. It starts at 2:30 in the afternoon.
On Wednesday, and if you don't.
15th Street. What did you say, Jerry? What's the name of the building?
The Adult Learning Center, I think, or?
Elderwell Adult Day Program,
So what's happening?
and they say, join us for pie with the police, grab, slice, and a steamy cup of coffee on Wednesday, November 12th, 2:30 to 4:30 p.m.
It's in today's newsletter if you need to reference it later.
Steamy coffee. So if it's cold, you let us know. We will get right on that.
Yes.
I realize that it's not your department, you don't have complete control over it, but maybe you have news or information. For the metro, for the train, do you know if they're gonna have any security or the metro police on their trains at any time?
So
You know, I know it's not.
no, it's a problem. I don't want to say it's a problem. This is a thing that happened, because I'm beat one, so it comes from beat 3 to beat 1. The sheriffs are tasked with doing the security for the train, so they're there, on the platform, they have security there, at least at the Fourth Street platform, there's always security. The sheriffs are usually in the parking lot, we call it the kiss and ride. And if there's crime, which there actually hasn't, I haven't had any violent crime on the platform in some time. There was a period of time I had some stabbing, some other things on the platform, but I haven't had it. But they're standing up their own police department, which would take probably like 2 years to build. But on a good note, I don't know if you saw our press conference last week, what day was it? Tuesday. We had a press conference for the Wilshire hit and run, where we had 2 fatalities. Both suspects, the accomplice and the actual suspect, was extradited back from Chicago. Here, was arrested, and we had a press conference with the district attorney, who seems to be very much a supporter of Santa Monica, and he says he spends a lot of time here, so we're on his list in a positive way. Like, he likes this area, not because we have so much crime he has to come here. But so we were very happy that our detectives were very tight-lipped and were able to work the case along, including our main traffic investigator, who was very integral at collaborating with Chicago PD and a couple other agencies and getting the suspects into custody. I know it was a big deal, but often, if you know me, I like to highlight when something is done correctly, because generally people, oh, what are you gonna do? So when we do it, I try to make it known that it was done, and it was done with a lot of sincerity, a lot of man hours, and we actually had to conduct a search warrant very far away, so we got to utilize Officer Tago's team and SWAT and getting people into custody and getting more information. So we have a great police department ready to serve at any capacity, pie with a cop or getting bad guys. Like, I don't think you guys hire us to go have pie with, but you do hire us to go and keep the peace and effect arrest.
Any other questions? Cool, thank you. So I am not seeing the fire department here or on, oh, actually, I do see Kathy Taylor online. So
How are you?
Good. Let's hand it over to Kathy.
Oh, Kathy.
Hello, everyone. So I'm here to give some updates about our advanced provider unit and some of the hiring that we're currently doing with the department. This week, actually last week marks the official launch of the APU, which is our advanced provider unit in our EMS division. The APU, basically, we hired 3 nurse practitioners to work alongside one of our engineers, and they go out in advanced provider unit, similar to like a police car, but it's fitted out in red fire department, markings. The APU started responding to 911 medical calls, providing advanced medical care on scene, and successfully treating and discharging several patients without requiring ambulance transport. So this basically has been helping our availability for high priority emergencies. One notable instance last week was that we were able to collaborate with SMPD and clinicians from the Los Angeles County Department of Mental Health to provide a clear and behavioral health patient with the field and arrange direct transfer to an actual psychiatric urgent care instead of having to take them to our emergency department. So this partnership has helped reduce system strain and improve care coordination so far. And it has demonstrated how one of our APU program, when operating on scale, will expand to address local EMS issues and mental health issues that help out with also addiction treatment and homelessness related situations. Now that it is live, basically our nurse practitioners are kind of assigning themselves to calls that come through dispatch that they're able to help out with. And we're looking forward to the program continuing. We also are coordinating with our Human Services Division to provide food service during the federal government shutdown. So if you know of anyone in need that might need some help, we will be having some donation boxes at various places like Virginia Park, our fire stations, City Hall, and Main Street libraries. And we're working with Westside Food Bank for that to provide those services. We also will have our Toys for Tots boxes for our Spark of Love, which is like a regional program that, you know, we collect toys to give them to local organizations to help families in need during the holiday season as well. We're also on the enforcement side, fire code enforcement side, now that we have new spaces within like the local hazard areas. On the new local hazard maps, we are hiring 2 more fire code enforcement officers currently, and we're also hiring more ambulance operators for our ambulance operator program, where we're taking over and running our own ambulances. So that is still in effect, and we're hiring more ambulance operators at this moment. So that's pretty much it for us to right now. If you guys have any questions, I'm open to take some questions.
Don't see any questions.
Hold on, I lied.
Wait a minute. Are the nurse practitioners working in conjunction with the, like Bennett Family Clinic, or where are they sending the people that they're finding on the street?
I'm sorry, hold on, Chris, I'm sorry, you said something about Venice Family Clinic? Can you repeat your question? I'm sorry. My husband was like running the water. Sorry about that.
Hi, Margaret McAllister. Where are the nurse practitioners referring the patients to that they're finding on the street, or they're just treating them on the street?
They're treating them on the street, and depending on what services they need, they're referring them to the programs that we normally, like the local hospitals if necessary. This one was a psychiatric urgent care. I'm not sure exactly which one, but they're with whatever is in line with what we normally, the places that we normally work with.
Sometimes this is a good time to team them up with the Venice Family Clinic. Because they really specialize in treating these kinds of patients. And the cost there is really very low, if any at all.
Yeah, I'll find out if they're working with Venice Family Clinic. I'm not very sure.
I would hope so. Thank you.
I got another hand up, Mark.
What is fire code enforcement? What is the fire code enforcement? What do they do? Who do you contact?
Sean, can you help me with that? I'm sorry.
Yes, the question is, what does fire code enforcement do?
So fire code enforcement kind of does the same, the make sure that like the fire hydrants, not the fire hydrants, the fire extinguishers that are like when you walk into it, like if you look around in the room, there should be like an exit sign. So does that exit sign's lights come on? It could be related to like if there's egress, like free egress, like there's no doors blocking. So they go around to multi-units, like multi-complex apartments to make sure that just basic fire code is in place. So like say for instance, a fire sign, if the lights were to go on, that exit sign the light should come on, right? So that's like a little part, but they do a lot when it comes to just making sure that everything is in, in code. Like, so that, you're following fire code. So whatever the fire code rules are, that they're being enforced. So they go out and like make sure they go to businesses to make sure, when they go through their inspections, they also like write citations if necessary. So it's just to make sure that everybody's following the California fire code and everything's up to code. So it's kind of like code enforcement, what code enforcement does for the city, but we're just focused on fire related code.
Any other questions or comments?
All right. Thank you, Kathy. Appreciate your time. And
thank you so much.
So we have a few minutes before Carrie Upton and is here to talk about all things, and Steve Richardson are here to talk about Santa Monica
School district matters. They're gonna update us on all things Ocean Park School, but I don't think they're able to be here before 7. So I thought now would be a good time for a quick round of just saying hi to the room. You don't have to, you can pass if you don't feel like it, but it's good to get to know your neighbors. Feel free to introduce yourself and anything you care to share, either about what part of OP you live in, or what you're excited for over the holidays, or anything you like. I start over here with Judy, is that all right?
Okay, my name is Judy Abdo. I live on Pier Avenue, and several of us on the board live on my block. So, and we have a visitor on our block who I want to have lived there. We are a very friendly block in Ocean Park, and anything you want to know about the history of Santa Monica from the 80s, you can ask me.
Thanks, Judy.
Hi, I'm Mary Birch, and I live up on Strand Street, right by Johnson Park. I also volunteer at the first shop down on Main Street. So, all things first shop related.
And,
Park related.
and Mary is throwing her hat in the ring for 2026 OPA board.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay.
Hi, my name's Andrew. My wife, my newborn son and I live by Hawks Bodega and Hawks Park. And I'm also running for.
Charles Allen, live over on Ozone. I was really excited that we got some really nice spiders up for Halloween this year, but we also got them down before Thanksgiving, which I'm gonna consider.
Very good.
And I'm Christina. I live with that guy on Ozone. Former board member, but big supporter.
Next row.
I'm Ann, and I live a few blocks down, and just wanted to see what was happening. Can I ask a question at this point?
Sure.
Or later or something?
There will be open questions on like issues a little bit later, if you want to wait.
I'll wait.
Thanks, Ann. Jeff?
Jeff Giaro, on the board here and founder of the parade.
Also founder of OPA.
And founder of.
One second, Ann, did I sit next to you at the Aero Theater a couple weeks ago? Was that you?
I am guilty.
So I have a.
Glad to see you here.
Yeah, it's nice to see you as well. So anyway, I have a post-cinema story for you. I'll tell you today.
I think that's Tony.
Hi, Tony, my wife Giselle, we are longtime Ocean Park residents, and I'm also on the board.
I'm Karen Carlson, just joined.
Our newest member of OPA, joined about 20 minutes ago.
And my wonderful grandchildren live across the street from Judy, and they've been there 20 years now plus. And I've loved being part of this. And my home is in Corona Del Mar, and I've been very active in our residents association. And I find this to be very similar, and I like being involved. So I'm glad to be part of it.
Great.
And she has a dog. Yes, I do. I do have a general question. Judy has a wonderful little free library, and there are a couple more. I happen to be a great supporter of them. If anybody knows of other little free libraries within walking distance of 4th and Pier, I'd like to be able to visit them.
There's one in Highland and Oakville.
Highland?
Highland is basically 7th Street.
Oh, yes.
And Ozone, there's one there.
Yeah, I did find one the other day down on Dewey and, 7.
Yeah, there's like 6 or 8 all around the neighborhood.
It's the same one, it's not Ozone.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, yeah. Okay.
Hi, I'm Sarah Marsh-Chiba. I live on Strand and Third near Hawks and Hotchkiss Park. We have a little dog. I have an 8-year-old. I'm also a parent of a smash child, and I'm a PTSA member of the school, and they've asked me to come to OPA meetings and just kind of take any information back to the PTSA or bring any information about PTSA to here. And obviously right now, there's a lot going on. It's very exciting. So looking forward to hearing from Carrie. We just got news that we're moving in the fall. Rather than so Smash will be there and it'll be a different name. Thank you.
Jeff, I live up the street at Highland. There a long time. And when I'm not traveling, I occasionally come to these meetings.
Thanks, Jeff. Report in.
Yeah, my name is Abe Sassoon. Lived in Ocean Park for about 30 some odd years on 6th Street on Broadway, and I'm the director. One of the directors. I'm Dave Tion. I live on Navy Street since '76. On the board.
My name is Scotty, live over on Third and Ashland, my partner here. Just grateful for this community and everything that you guys do, so I'm gonna be here.
Yeah, I'm Becca, I'm just Scotty, and yeah, really enjoy coming to our open meetings, and I appreciate all the speakers that we get to learn more about the local community. So I'm not here.
Hi, I'm Marie. I've driven a special dignitary in the 4th of July parade for Jazz for many years. We don't know what's going to go on. It was fun.
Okay,
Go for it.
I'm Patty. I'm married to Dave, and I can remember the years that we've been in the same house. And I've been on the board of OPA since 2000. And I just love doing membership and I'm the treasurer and I think.
Fran, a long time Santa Monica resident.
Right, enough said.
I'm Lucy, I live across the street from up here, and I'm a board member. I'm only living here for 2 years from New York City. Based on that.
Hey, I'm Robbie. I've been on the board for the last few years and up at Fort Ocean Park, and pretty interested in the housing things that are happening.
My name's Sylvia Mendoza-Johnson, and I live on Hill Street near 7, and been part of this community, I don't know, a long time. I can't remember when you moved in, but I love the community here. It has a great spirit. I love the fact that we have an awesome newsletter, and it's full of information. Hey, Sean! What's going on in the city pretty quickly by just reading that. So it's great.
Hi, I'm Andrea. I'm a former resident of Ocean Park. I live across Lincoln now. And I also fell in love with the community, and I'm kind of a honorary member because I still have good friends here, so. Hi.
Now, I live on 5th Street. We just come to the meeting to see what's going on.
I'm Mark. I'm very impressed with the number of small babies we have in the neighborhood. Everywhere I go, I see almost more babies than there are dogs. So about 4 years from now, we're gonna need more schools.
Yes.
I'm Paul. I do a lot of meetings I have to listen to and never participate in, so I've walked every single street now in the neighborhood in the last year. So if you see me speed walking by, say hi. I'm very bored on those meetings.
Hi everyone, I'm Martin. I'm new in the community. I just moved in August. I work in a tech company called Metropolis in downtown Santa Monica. Originally I'm Armenian, but moved to LA in 2017. Speaking of history, actually I'm doing a series of photo shoots that are gonna be exhibited as part of the 150-year anniversary. So I'd love to chat with you Judy afterwards. I did some shots with a few residents of Ocean Park. So if anyone's interested, if you have an old house or anything interesting in the neighborhood that you want to highlight, please find me.
And you received an arts grant in connection with that, correct?
Yes, I did connect.
Cool. We had coffee last week and I promised to connect them with you, Mark, because you know so much about the area, and Judy, and then Patty in the back. The 3 people you definitely need to connect with.
Gina DeBaca, I've been here forever in Santa Monica. Let's see, my family actually, are the original Rancho families that owned all of Santa Monica. Back when actually, the family's been here before that. Then it was Mexico, then it became the United States. I've been here in the Ocean Park, been in the Ocean Park community for 8 years on 3rd and Hill in a beautiful house, and now I live on Main Street. I'm still in the same community, and I love it. I love growing up here in Santa Monica, and no matter where I go in Santa Monica, I'll be here.
Kelly Martin, I'm also on the board and I'm at Pittsburgh Bay. And if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm taking notes. That was posted on the website.
She's our secretary.
Yes, who's taking it? It doesn't come with the computer though.
Want to go next?
Yeah. I'm Carmen and I live on 3rd Street between Hill and Ashland. And I've been there since 1993, so I don't know how long I've been a member of OPA, maybe 5, 6 years, something like that. And I just love it. I think it's so interesting. And to be coming, coming and being informed, and I thank all of you that are on the board that keep everything going. So thank you.
Oh, Roger, resident of Santa Monica since '81. And I must love it here because I've been here.
I'm Gary. I've been Sunset Park, Ocean Park since the mid-70s. I'm probably best known for overdoing it on Main Street for Happy End.
Perfectly said.
I'm Margaret McAllister. I live in Sea Colony 2. I've been here part-time since 2004. I'm a Bostonian, and I'm here permanently now. And as you can hear, I am a retired nurse practitioner. I taught nurse practitioners for years, and I'm a real advocate of our using the community health centers. They are a wonderful resource for so many people, and they offer really free care for people who are homeless. And they offer all kinds of wonderful services, and we really need to avoid the use of the emergency rooms. Okay, and if you don't have a primary care provider, you can go to Venice Family Clinic. As you can see, Chuck Lurie donated a lot of money to redo the one on Rose, but there's one up on Pico that is in Santa Monica, and they give wonderful care. I've been a volunteer there giving vaccines. It's a great place. It's a wonderful resource. We should use it as much as possible.
And side note, but let me know if you want me to connect you with Kathy Taylor for any
Yes,
follow-up.
yeah.
So shoot me a line.
I'm Olga, and I grew up in Santa Monica as well, and used to be neighbors with Gina in the cute little house. I'm still in the house next to the cute house on 3rd near Hill. And I grew up here, and I've come back in the last 3 years. So I really appreciate the meeting and
Jerry. Jerry Rubin, been out here since 1967. I live at 4th and Bicknell. I'm a member of the Urban Forest Task Force and a proud member of OPA.
Thank you. And Sean Besser, president of OPA, live at 3rd and Pacific, been in the neighborhood almost 15 years and plan to leave until I'm in a box. And my favorite thing about the neighborhood over the holidays is coming up. It's December 7th. It's the tree lighting and OPA holiday party. And we'll talk more about that after we get an update on all things Ocean Park School. So I will hand the floor over to our esteemed guests to introduce themselves again. Thank you guys for coming tonight.
Thank you, Sean. Hello, everybody.
A lot of familiar faces. Good to see everybody. I'm Dr. Steve Richardson. I'm the Executive Director of Elementary Schools in Santa Monica, Malibu, with my colleague.
Carrie Upton, the Chief Operations Officer.
So I'll start off with all things school and he'll go to all things facilities after that. So we have a name. Many of you may know, we went through a process. We had a vote. One of the names was actually suggested here and it ended up going on the ballot. It's Ocean Park Schoolhouse. And it was a resounding favorite. I think we had 193 votes and 97 of the people who voted chose that as their top vote. So it was a landslide. I think the next closest was 36 votes. So we Ocean Park Schoolhouse.
Yay.
Yeah, so, and it's a K-8 school still, so it's that kind of call out to TK, which I'll get to, and which we have started. Remember, Smash and Mirror never had a TK, and now there is a TK at the new Ocean Park Schoolhouse. In fact, we not only brought on one, we brought on 2 TKs this year at the Obama campus, all of whom live in this neighborhood. There were no permits. We had, some of you may know, any of you have a 4-year-old in your house, there were a lot of COVID babies. And so we had a big TK boom this year across the district. A lot of TK, which are for 4-year-olds, those who turn 4 by September 1st. So this year, we've already started our expansion of the school. We added 2 TKs, which will then next year feed 2 kinders, and it will go on up and up. We also added an additional K. So currently now we have 2 TKs and 2 Ks. Next year, we'll be working with our board to see how fast we expand. We want to do it expeditiously, but also thoughtfully. We look to open, as some of you may know, I had a 1st grade class this year, but people were happy where they were and didn't want to necessarily switch schools at that point. So we're hoping though to expand this and really grow into the neighborhood here between 5th and 6th and Ocean Park at the new campus. We've been on couple walks recently and we're getting real close to where we need to be. And I'm gonna hand it over to Carrie in a second so he can kind of talk facilities. Any questions though on school stuff, Judy?
Do you have a preschool in there?
No, we will not have a preschool, but Carrie's gonna speak to that.
I'll talk to that in a moment.
Yeah.
So before it was John Muir and Smash sharing the site, so now it's just one school?
It's one school and it's one neighborhood school. So if you live in the neighborhood, you get to go. Remember Smash and Edison were 2 schools that were school of choice. And now this is the neighborhood school for those who live here. And so we're really excited about that.
So then second part to that, then, is it still gonna be run like how Smash, they have their own,
Yeah, I mean, so they're pillars that were built upon Smash and Mirror, embedded social emotional learning, project-based learning, a really human-centered approach, which means really kind of whole child approach. And then kind of a new shift is really community impact and global impact. And I think it's a good time in our world for that, to raise our kids in that kind of ethos. So that's kind of one of the big growth areas for that. Over here and then over here.
Under the happy path, where you have people who are already in a couple different schools.
Yes.
And opening a new campus. Ideally, people would love to flock in, but obviously they have roots that kind of become these other areas.
Yeah.
What do you see as expectations for the growth of attendance at that school? Is it going to be like fill up TK and go from there, or do you expect to have pretty much full classes from the beginning?
Well, we think we're gonna phase it up. So it's kind of hard, especially being that we've had a school of choice which model that maybe isn't, it aligns to the values of our district, but isn't as maybe traditional as some of the other schools. So to plop in a 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and just say go, 1, we need the teachers to do it. And so we have to grow it that way. And then 2, we need the interest of people to come. So the way we see it is we are going to grow up by grade or a couple grades at a time each year. Also, I think it's important to know that, let's say next year we open first and second grade, and I'm at, I live in this boundary, but I'm at one of our other schools, you'll have priority to come in. So we will give priority for those folks who are somewhere else through the transfer process.
Another thing we're seeing though in the demographics is that where we're really growing is in the early generation alpha. It is the COVID babies, ones who came. So it's actually in the birth to 6-year-old that we're seeing this swell. So we feel like the school as it grows will actually ride that wave.
There's lots of babies in strollers.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
And I mean, essentially the millennials took their time, but now they're getting on it.
They're catching up over here.
What is the class size? And also, because there's small class size with the younger children.
So the class, so TK has state guidelines. It's a 10-to-1 ratio, adult to student, 1 teacher, 1 assistant. So the biggest we go there is 20. All the other, all the way up through 3rd grade, K through 3rd, we go 24 is our magic number. And that's the same as other schools. And then we will add a little when they get up into the middle school. It's appropriate to add more in, but the classes don't get much bigger than maybe 27. Yeah.
I just didn't quite understand. Is it still a school of choice along with being a neighborhood school?
No,
Okay.
it's just gonna be neighborhood. Now, our district does have, we already have a permit process. So let's say neighborhood comes in and we have 3 slots left. People can go through our intra-district permit process, which is not exactly the same as school of choice. It would be just people from any school would have an opportunity to try to permit in, just like they do now. It happens everywhere right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you. And is it still traditional learning? I'm sorry, I know Sherry has this question, but I just didn't.
It's a more project-based approach, which is aligned to our district initiatives, and then part of really the, SMASH was very deep in that, but John Muir was also project-based and, just as some of our other schools were.
Second part of my question is, will the teachers who were on that campus have the opportunity to return?
Anyone who has an interest can, when openings come up, can apply to come back in. We have a process for that in our district too. So we have some who I've been talking to. I think a lot of them are happy where they are. Some are like, I think I might want to come back. So I think this next expansion might have a good shot against some of the folks to come back. Yep. Jeff.
So Santa Monica Alternative Schoolhouse, we call SMASH.
Yep.
So now we're gonna call the new school option.
You might, Jeff, not me. Yeah, I think Carrie was hoping for a catchier acronym there, but I think it's I think they landed on a name that kind of honors the new and new. So, yeah, here and then over here.
So what grade is it? Gonna go up to?
8th grade.
8th grade.
Yeah, we'll continue to be
Middle
TK.
school.
Yeah, it'll be TK through 8, and there'll be, instead of 1 class, there'll be 2 in each level. Which I'll tell you what, as a parent there, the kids will be happy. It gets real small by the time Jeff does. Some of the folks who've been in small schools, so the kids get hungry for a little more socially, and that's just natural, the developmental, that time they start to become more peer-centered. So.
Being hungry, because I was a teacher in New York City.
Yeah.
Do you provide lunch, or is there lunch or do they still use libraries these days? Is it plans for school library?
Yes and yes. We do. In fact, we have universal lunch here. In California, students eat free. We provide breakfast and lunch. Our lunches are a bigger offering. But yeah, full cafeteria that's almost done at the new campus. And then we have a good sized media center there as well as a makerspace.
Is the differentiation between we're going to call it OPSH and Roosevelt and Franklin and Edison, and also when you go up to 8th and compare it to Lincoln and John Adams?
Where do I start? I would
start by saying almost all of our elementary schools have a particular focus. And they're all different. So this one will be a little bit of different feeling. I mean, Rogers has the international baccalaureate focus. Roosevelt has, I think, another acronym for something. I'm not the educator, but I think that you went in the right direction.
No, so I have 9 elementary schools with 9 identities. And so you have them. I think the largest difference though would be the flexibility in instruction around like one thing that the school has done well, whether it's Mirror Smash, is really embedded social emotional learning into the curriculum. Not let's all gather up, talk about some soft skills, and then off to your day, that they embed it into each and every moment of the day. I think that's a big piece. Having community-based projects and global improvement projects are going to be another big piece of those. I think, although I don't find any of our schools to be traditional, like thinking of my own experience growing up, I think they're all fairly progressive, but I think there's, on the spectrum of them, I think it's probably what we would consider, it was called an alternative program for years because of its kind of project-based human-centered piece. And then it also has a multi-age piece, which may be one of the biggest distinctions. Multi-age, so it's not a combo class where it's like, oh, we didn't have enough for a full third, a full second, let's put them together. We have 2 classes and they spend part of their day mixing. So sometimes they're together, sometimes they're not. And what it does is it gives kids an opportunity to alternate between being an apprentice, being a mentor. And then they do that their whole way up as a TK or a K, you're an apprentice to the Ks above you. And then you step into a mentor role and then back to an apprentice role, which really creates this sense of responsibility in the community for each other. It's really, I think it's one of the most powerful pieces of that model that seems like a little technical piece, but it has a really big adaptive piece. Jeff?
Who's gonna be the principal?
Jessica.
So, you already addressed the resourcing for teachers. By the way, thank you for coming out here and talking this.
Oh,
it's been huge on everybody's mind.
Yes.
The resourcing for teachers. How about I'm curious if you've gone so far as to plan ancillary roles and thinking like crossing guards, enough staffing to keep like the park at the back open. If you've gone that route, do you have any idea what that looks like?
In terms of expansion and just keeping up with the larger volume?
Right, like but like do you see like crossing guards being able to be at a lot of locations and be able to keep a lot of the stuff open on the campus for the students to have access to, or do you see like not much happening there at the beginning and then expanding like with the teacher count? How do you see that going?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm gonna let Carrie deal with the crossing guard question because he works more with the city. But I will say, I think part of this will be emergent, that as we grow, making adjustments to kind of meet the need at the time. But I'll let you deal with that.
You might say something about how physical education has changed in the district. Just how we're shifting a little bit of how our.
Yeah, I mean, so one piece during the day that's different than it had been for decades. We had kind of the equivalent of an instructional aide teaching PE for a long time. That became something the state wasn't happy with. So we adjusted. That's what you do. Sometimes they say, well, you're out of compliance here. So we went through a process and now we have certificated PE teachers. Someone who you'd normally find in secondary who are now teaching in elementary. We have them all over. Ocean Park Schoolhouse will have probably share one at first. Probably within a year or two, we'll get its own. So we're kind of looking at how quick is that expansion? What are the needs? We'll be partnering with our CDS program, Child Development Services, who does some of the before and after school care and making sure we have enough to accommodate kind of a growing population.
And that's going to start right away?
In August, yeah. We'll have both the before and after care. We'll also have the the after school sports and other opportunities. So that's all sort of planning for August. And so, I mean, we're moving a lot of that from the current Smash over, but that's all part of what's being planned. So it'll be operating very much like a full school once it gets open.
Conveying a couple online questions. It's, one which you're alluding to is it sounds like it's not opening in January, that it's gonna be opening in August, but I'll let you speak to that. The related question I got was the timing for the various grades over the next couple of years. What's gonna open when?
So let me do my facility bit for a moment, and I will come back to crossing guards.
Yeah, let me do the real quick, the growth one.
Yeah.
So I don't have a absolute answer. This is something we're working with the board facilities committee on. And like I said, if we think we want to do it expeditiously but thoughtfully, we need to make sure we have kids who will fill in these middle spots. Because we know we can grow them up and keep them there, but we also want to fill in. So it's, you know, we'd like the school to be open full and 450 or so kids in there. That's what we project with the 2 grades, TK through 8. So we'll keep you up. I think these updates will kind of be ongoing as we move through this. So hopefully I'll be back with some news on that in the spring.
But at the moment, the only plans for next year are TK and K?
No, we're expanding next year. For sure, the question is it gonna be 1, 2? Is it gonna be more? Is it, where is the, do we have enough folks from other schools who are willing to come over?
Okay, let me do facilities for just a moment, if you don't mind, just because that's gonna also, because it's already been alluded to. Okay, so for many of y'all, particularly who live in the neighborhood and have been around our construction, many of you know we closed the campus in June of 22. That campus really wasn't designed or built well, and had water intrusion problems from the 90s. And as much as we tried to piecemeal it and solve problems, you know, on an iterative basis, it just did not work. So that's where we closed the campus. And when we started tearing into it, we found a whole lot more damage. Not so much as a lot more mold, but just places where just structurally there had been a lot of water. So it was the right thing to do. The challenge was we started it with with the division of the state architect who looks over it as doing a sort of maintenance project where we take off the outer skin and put it back. And then it became more, because then it became, now it had to be a full structural upgrade, which meant we had to tear up all the classrooms. And then it became, oh, now that we're doing that, we have to modernize more. This was not a pleasant experience, but we went and it kept building and building and growing. What I'm happy to say is, we are ready for kids to come in January. We're 98% done. There's a lag in the kitchen because that was the last thing to get approved by the Division of State Architects. It'll be ready sort of end of January, but that would be ready. But when our superintendent talked with the folks at Smash, the decision was to move a whole school over the 2 weeks of break. Was just not the best idea. And so it was just a little bit too much, even though that'll be ready. We decided to keep them at the Obama Center for the spring semester. Now, we also had another group though that was sort of pushing, and that is our Olympic high school has been since June of 22 at Santa Monica College because they had to go somewhere, and that was another approved space for them to be. They were there, but we're ready to sort of move them back. Plus they're getting ready to do some more construction there. So they're going to move on to the Ocean Park campus in January. It's a much smaller program. It's about 40 kids, 8 classrooms. So they're going to be there for that semester while we finish up the last final pieces of the kitchen and other things. But most all of it's ready to go. And so they'll be there through the spring semester. And then over the summer, we'll move everyone in, all the TK8 school into the Ocean Park Schoolhouse. Olympic will, and the Offsite Learning Center will move back to their original home at the Obama Center, and that will start going. We'll also be moving a new program into the Obama Center, our short-term academic and therapeutic, I never can remember this acronym, it's the STATS program. This is a special program. You know, a lot of times in middle school and high school, students, for whatever reason, hit an emotional or psychological incident or break or problem or issue. And we are connected with both the Culver City and the Beverly Hills school districts, and we work in what's called a SELPA, which I don't know what that stands for except for special education something. And that group, what we've learned is a lot of times when that happens with a kid, we don't have a place for these kids to go and sort of find their way back. And what often happens is they end up going to, there's no place really close to us, they go to a residential site. And what we find is that the chance of them coming back to school drops down to like 25, 30%, where other districts that have a place that especially helps these kids, them coming back to school is somewhere in the 80, 85%. So we have some space there and we're creating that space there. The other thing we're doing is because of transitional kindergarten, a lot of our elementary schools have pushed out our preschools to create more and more space for all of these 4-year-olds. But that means our 2s and 3s don't have as much space. So what we're doing is we're moving preschools back to the Obama Center. We'll have 6 classes with playgrounds and everything that they need. Yes, yes, that's what we're doing. We do need to go in and do some modernization work, which will take about 6 months to put in restrooms, because you got to have the restrooms en suite. And we have to have playgrounds and everything else that has to happen there. So that's going to happen. We'll finish that about December, but licensing from the county takes up to another 6 months. So we expect that whole preschool to open in August of 27. At that time, we might shift and move some other preschools, but that's the trajectory that we're working towards in the district and getting ready. But finally, yes, for those of you who had to deal with construction, it will be done. And the new school, as you might already notice, the fences haven't gone down yet, but there's a new parking lot with a drop-off pickup that will be much safer and hopefully get the folks off the street. There's a new office, admin office, that you enter right in from the door and you get buzzed in from the door, which creates a much more safe experience than what we had before. And then there's a new innovation lab where the old office was. So all of that is coming and will be ready for the Ocean Park Schoolhouse.
I noticed, just walking around with my dog, right now, the parking, the back part where the kids ran and played, is that going to be put in place?
That's coming back right away. So we have
So
4.
right when the kids come.
Yeah, oh yeah, we have 4 aged bungalows, 30 plus years old, that need to go away. And so, and very soon, and I think in the next month, they'll get pulled across that whole area to go away. And as soon as we do that, then we'll restore the whole thing with the grass and the play structure, and all of that will be opened. It should be open, if not 1st of January, within that first month.
That's the grass.
Yes.
I know there's a study being done about plastic grass versus regular grass. Any news on that? As far as, will it be grass? It would be lovely if it was grass.
Right now, the plan for that park is to remain it to be natural grass. As far as our study, we are wrapping up our study. It's got some really great information. It sort of really looks at the whole scale of that. And we should have that, I think I'm going to send it to the PTA to do their part of the study this week. And then in the next month or 2, we don't really have to make any decisions at any other campus on whether it's grass or turf for a good year or more. So we have time to make decisions, to look at it and really analyze it the best way and what's really best for students. And even then, there would be one field that we've done and we're years away from doing others because of funding. Yes, I saw your hand next, but then we'll go.
Is the Olympic campus going to have a playground?
The Olympic campus will have a full playground for the preschoolers, full thing plus outdoor learning areas outside the classrooms.
Fabulous.
It's all being designed. It has a whole thing that's going on, and we got a really crack team making it happen.
Because that was one of the big problems.
It never was the best playground. This is going to be a great. Yes.
When do you foresee the neighborhood having access to like the park?
I think that'll start, if not beginning of January, but within a month after that, or, very, very briefly in there. And I think that, for during the school day, we still have a little bit of use, but I think it'll start opening up a little bit more. I don't ever need to get too comfortable with that though, because come August, we'll close it down for school again. But yeah, that'll happen. And if we could keep dogs off it, that'd be great. Yes.
The city manager, the new city manager came to speak here, I don't know, a month or 2 ago. He mentioned that enrollment is down in San Marcos School District. I forget what time horizon he was using. So is the goal with the school, other than providing a neighborhood school, is it to redistribute kids that are at other Santa Monica schools and alleviate overcrowding? Or are we hoping to attract more kids that went to private or charter in school back into Santa Monica School District?
So about 2 years ago, we hit our low point as far as enrollment. We are now building back up, and it's mostly being driven by that Generation Alpha group with our TKs first and second. We will be back up to our Santa Monica enrollment by 2028 as to what we were before COVID. So where many districts are seeing substantial decline, we're actually seeing a big swell coming back up. So we're coming up in that place. What we're tracking, and is interesting, is how much housing is being built, because there's a lot of different structures and things that are both being built and being planned. A lot of those are almost all along the Santa Monica Boulevard corridor. So we're a little concerned that some schools, which now we're pretty well balanced in our schools, some schools might peak more and others less. We're gonna have to take a look at that. And I think we'll do as much of it as possible through choice. But I'm a little concerned about a couple of our boundaries in schools that by 28, 29, they might get to more kids than we should have on those campuses. We might need to do a little shifting.
Is the line, the boundary line, movable so that some of the new housing in the downtown could be part of the Ocean Park?
It could, but that's not being discussed officially yet.
Okay.
Yes. If I missed people, I'm sorry. Yes.
Question. What was the students were there when it was Smash and John Muir? And then how many students are going to be there in January from Olympic?
Right. When Smash and John Muir were at their peak, which is you go back about 15 years ago, there was close to 600 students between the two. When it closed, it was around 425. We think whenever it gets fully built out, it will be somewhere in the 500, maybe a little bit more than 500. When it starts next year, it's going to be somewhere around maybe 300 or just below.
Well, there's that, but I think your question was how in January, right?
Oh, in January, there'll be 40.
In January, there are
40 kids.
40 kids, five staff members, six
Yeah.
staff members.
Olympic is a much smaller program. It's our alternatives high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in January, but there'll be more coming. Crossing guards. We've been speaking to the city. The city does the crossing guards, and we've talked about how we'll shift some of the ones that moved for the move to Obama will come back. We've talked about where we think it's the most important to have them. The biggest challenge the city has is hiring people. They have like 4 or 5, I mean, this was a month ago. A month ago, they had like 5 different crossing guard positions open. And so they were really doing a big push. So if anybody wants to be a crossing guard or knows somebody who wants to do crossing guards, that's our biggest challenge when we open in August, is filling it, is making sure we have enough there. And the city has budget for it. It's just, they haven't been able to hire. Yes.
So I urge all of you to speak with the crossing guards in Santa Monica. What I have been told by the crossing guards throughout the years, I have 6 children, so I've been here a while. My children have been in school a while. Up until recently even, the pay is crap. It's a part-time job, and it's really, really part-time. And they're not treated well. And so when I looked at because they're under Santa Monica Police still, correct?
Yeah.
And so they're in the Santa Monica SMPD's budget. SMPD, their budget just doesn't, well, it shows it doesn't appreciate them. So you would need to speak with the crossing guards in the community, and you as an organization and as a people that actually care about the children, you would need to speak with SMPD. And it would be good if you did it as a group. The neighborhood organization, take advantage of that, do that. Because they should be paid well, they should be treated well. And maybe they do need to have a couple, another hour. I know that personally, like there would be times where I picked up my child late for whatever reason, and the crossing guard was already gone. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's dangerous. And I still see children crossing the street, and I'm like, the crossing guard should still be here at this hour. So you know, they should have more time on the job for the safety of our children. So talk to crossing guards and then.
Thank you.
the Community.
Point of information, if you don't mind. You mentioned that a lot of the crossing guards felt like they were treated poorly. I just want some clarity. Are they talking about from an employment perspective or from people in the community or both?
Both.
Oh, okay.
And they also felt, now that you brought it up, they felt that when people were rude to them or, you know, just mean to them, whatever. I mean, there was one scenario where she was almost ran over. I could go on the story, but it was, once you go back to, you know, her boss, there was no, you know, and this is SFPD, it's not the school district. There was no like, yeah, it was just like, nobody cared. So, and I heard that quite often.
Any final questions? 1, 2, 3. Andrew.
When you think about launch and ongoing, what are some of the metrics for success that the school has launched successfully and test scores, student parent
You say
satisfaction?
with this new neighborhood school? I mean, I think the fact that they've scaled up to these younger, if you can add 2 TKs and a K on your campus and then not turn the place upside down, you're in a pretty good spot, because we not only have, so when TK started, it initially started, it was November birthdays. They kind of caught people, and then they did November and October, then October and September and all the way back. Now we do that whole 4-year-old period. So you'll get some kids who start as 3-year-olds. You'll get some kids who start in diapers. That's a very different shift than having kids who come in at 5 or almost 5. So one of the things that they've done, and they actually, Smash presented to the board a couple weeks ago on the 23rd, they talked about having some of the older kids are budding with the younger kids to build those relationships, create a sense of community, help with a little older kid, younger kid mentorship and supervision. And I was on campus for a learning walk last week, and you really felt it was pretty settled for a new group. So, you know, scaling up is tough. I think another thing that we've done well is we've partnered with universities to bring student teachers in who are interested in kind of a more project-based, human-centered approach versus something more traditional. And so we're trying to grow folks from within, in addition to some of our classified employees, maybe instructional aides, who are now going back and getting their credentials. So we're really trying to, 1, meet the need, but 2, knowing we're going to need more teachers as we go here, and they don't fall out of the sky. It's hard to recruit in Santa Monica to some degree because we are geographically isolated at the ocean, but it's expensive as well. So, but I think really starting with these 2 young groups, bringing on 3 new teachers, and then a whole different developmental piece that made a nice adjustment.
Want to call it real quick on pickup and drop off and crosswalks and these kind of things. Because a lot of people have been outside of school for a while, it is very impactful for the social development of the parent and teacher groups there and the socialization of all the people trying to meet other parents in their same age groups. So it's disproportionately important to have a good drop off and pickup experience where the parents can commingle and invite each other to events and talk about things in the school. No response needed. I just wanted to call it out.
We're trying to add those. One of our challenges is most of our campuses are about half the size they should be for the number of students. So there's a little square footage debate that happens, but I know we're trying to add that. There will be a little bit of a space there for this at the school. Probably we weren't able to make it as big as we wanted it to though, because we didn't feel like, Franklin has a bit of a lawn, Rogers has a bit of a lawn, but we felt like we should still definitely have something. Yeah.
And lastly, Jared.
Yeah,
Jared.
I was just wondering, is the playground that's planned for the event an accessible playground? For people with kids with disabilities?
We always include that. That's part of what we do. I actually had an interesting conversation about that. We want to make sure we have both accessible apparatuses and things for everyone, so every kid can participate. but we also need the things that will challenge the kids. So like if they're a fourth and fifth grader, they need something that also will, that fourth, fifth grade boy needs to have that energy and have something. So it's trying to find that interesting balance, because I feel like we almost swayed a little bit to make our playgrounds almost so accessible that it lacks challenge of play. So we need to find how we balance those. And that was an interesting conversation I was having just last week.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you both for coming tonight.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, everyone. I know that I got messages from a couple other parents and whatnot that couldn't be here, and I'm sure you guys are going to be reporting back as well. I'll make sure this gets posted onto YouTube by Thursday at the latest. If you need early access to it, let me know. On to board business. So kicking off with executive committee matters. Let's start with elections. This is the last. If you guys are going to chat, please take it upstairs. Voices echo in the hallway. This is the last meeting of the calendar year for OPA. Elections will be at the December 7th meeting, holiday party. As we already talked about, we've got a few people running that aren't currently on the board that are interested in doing so. Mary, Andrew, who just stepped out, Tess, who's not here tonight, but a lot of us know as she's been spearheading a lot of community efforts. Someone's excited about Tess. And just need to confirm which existing board members are also running. I know Abe is not going to be returning as a board member. I know I've heard from Lucy, Jeff Jarrow, Dave Tan, and Robbie I have not heard from.
Send an email though.
Okay, well, you can do it verbally.
Yeah.
Great. Not to. I realized I missed that. All good. So I think that is our slate. How are we looking on numbers? Is there anything we need to talk about, Patty, about sort of room on the board? I think we're good.
We'll have less than 15. That's
Good.
We should have enough.
Good. Did I miss anyone that was interested? I don't think so. Cool. What else do we need to talk about elections?
Well, the election time closed yesterday. In about 2 weeks, we'll be putting out a little flyer that shows all of the people who will be running. And again, it's a yes/no thing. But you would be able to see the little blurbs they have, and some of them have photos or whatever, because a lot of times you just don't know who this person is, even though you might see them all and online. So that's going to happen in about 2 weeks from now. And when it's time for the election, we do have a hand-in election paper. We also have it digitally the following few days. And people who can vote need to be members. If you're not a member and you want to vote, just let me know and we'll make you a member. Not expensive. And then again, these folks are basically everyone will become part of the board because we're not over the amount that we have. Can't have the under, and that's a good thing. Gives you a little wiggle room. Because people do come up during the years of times, and Tara has to join. And we can talk about that sometime.
Great. So election will be at the December 7th holiday party, which we'll talk more about momentarily. We just elect a general board at that day, and then at the January meeting, elect executive board. Any questions on election matters? All right, let's talk about holiday party next. So as I've said about half a dozen times, December 7th. Hunter, want to talk about also what's happening on December 7th on Main Street?
Sure. Hello, beautiful people.
For those of you that don't know Hunter, he runs the Main Street Business Improvement Association.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, I just want to show up and, we do have our holiday tree lighting, whatever you want to call it. That's gonna be on December 7th. Also, same place, same time, museum lawn, Victorian complex. Same general plan, we'll probably spice it up this year with a few different elements, but same general plan, we love fun. What did you all think of Day of the Dog? Collecting data, anecdotal, otherwise, thumbs up, thumbs down? Yeah, good. Any,
It was fun.
Okay.
It was fun.
Great.
Oh, and I wanted to, make note that, I remember, the last time we had a block party, that all the way to the ends of Main Street, south. That area, the last time, it didn't seem like it wasn't very well populated. This particular one, it was. And I think it's because you guys had the cars, the Volkswagen, I don't know.
Yeah, we play around with it every year.
But it was a lot of people over there, so it was nice. It wasn't dead.
Glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Any?
Nothing?
We want constructive.
Yeah,
criticism,
like
so-
this is, it's not a loaded question. We need it to improve. Well, I was gonna say, that's not entirely true that we don't have control over. Like, it got moved to later in the year specifically to try and prevent the heat. So in some ways, we do control the weather here at Oakland on Main Street.
Exactly. I mean, you guys know me running this my sled dog. Start with the big killer dog.
Yeah.
So we're always aware of that. They got covers. We'll probably.
Any other feedback, constructive, nothing? Cool, if you do have it, and you just don't want to say it openly, please either filter it to me or I can connect you with Hunter as well. So.
Yeah. Our Main Street is,
General question. How are you seeing attendance as far as people just local versus like coming in from extra areas around to?
Well, the good news is we got a little bit of money, so we hired Palantir to track you all and came to our events. Here, one New York Times, very scary. Anecdotally, it's mostly locals, it's mostly San Juan people, West Side people. But there are, you know, you see people that are traveling, you see people that are some international, but it's mostly in people do travel to South Bay. There's some dog groups that I'm a part of online, and you know they tell them about it. I know they transform it. So people can Palm Springs. Yeah. So yeah, but what should we expect?
Thanks, Hunter.
Anything else? Great. Thank you.
So our holiday party is going to be same day and time, more or less. We're targeting either 3 to 6 or 3:30 to 6. It's not 100% locked in on location, but it's 98% likely going to be at the Edgemar. And depending on weather, we'll either be indoors or outdoors, similar to last year. Members get a drink on the house, and we're going to have past apps, hors d'oeuvres, you know, snacks available. What the Edgemar is also planning to do, they do a Sunday sort of prefix meal on the regular. Which, by the way, I think is one of the better deals around. It's like $35 and it's like 3 or 4 courses and they take care of you. And they're also closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. So if you're there late enough, they'll just start pouring extra wines because the wines, they don't like to leave just sitting around for a few days. I might have been there once or twice on his own. And they're going to offer, I think, even a further discounted rate for anyone that wants to stick around after the holiday party to have dinner there. And they're talking about like either $30 or maybe $25. We'll see where it goes. So please mark your calendar for Sunday, December 7th at the Edgemar. We're also planning on doing a raffle again this year, like we did last year. It was a big hit. I've already collected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 commitments for raffle prizes. I think we had 12 or 13 last year. We do want some more. So we had 15 last year. Sorry. So we're not even close yet. We need to do better than 15 this year. So if you're going to Main Street businesses or no, Patty's words. If you know if you have, Ocean Park or even General Santa Monica businesses that want to donate to the raffle, they'll get some promotion out of it through the newsletters. Please don't hesitate to ask at the various places. Hunter had his hand up.
I'll give you some good cards.
Thank you. I will follow up on that.
I have a question about Edgemar. Are they gonna do their, I don't remember if they do their annual shopping cart Christmas tree lighting.
So the Edgemar doesn't do that. MSBIA historically has. We didn't do it last year because of finances, I believe, but
That's in flux. We will have a tree. We will have a holiday event. That is baking right now, and I don't want to present the cake until that is baked.
No, that's because that would draw a crowd to that area.
right. It's been at the Edgemar in the past, but it wasn't done by that complex. Also, some of the tenants of that complex, I think, don't love it being there because it actually distracts from business because the people, just don't see the business or whatever. Like, there's been some complaints from businesses there.
It's not gonna be there, right?
I can tell you there will be no shopping cart tree at Edgemar. That is certain.
For better or worse. So, and one of the things we have to talk about is OPA, the last couple of years, has sponsored the photos with Santa. And so that's something we have to discuss if we have money for that. And I know our diamond sponsor, Raphael, wants to participate as part of that if we're doing it.
Actually, we don't give so much money that it hurt us.
Right.
It's just a couple $100.
Yep.
So I would say we should probably keep it up.
Is there such a motion from a board member? There we go. Is there a second?
Second.
Board members only, all in favor, any opposed? All right, done. Any other questions about the party? Cool. Done. Moving on to website and emails and stuff like that. As everyone has probably noticed by now, we've switched over to a new platform. I do want constructive criticism on that, but don't need to do it here. Please shoot me an email. We're trying to still figure out what's working and what's not working with that platform. Some of you may have noticed we've been popping in some third-party advertising in that. Hopefully it's not too distracting. We're trying to play around with where it goes. One thing I do want to encourage everyone to do is, even if you're not interested in that ad, please click the ad. So all of the advertising is CPC, meaning cost per click. We don't get paid based on a view. We only get paid based on a click. And we get paid $1 to $2 per click. Like, it's actual real money. So you don't have to sign up for anything. You just got to click it, look at it for 3 seconds, close it. And you're giving money to OPA. So please click those ads in the OPA newsletter. I think we're averaging over $50 a week in terms of advertising revenue. So it's actual real money. We still haven't figured out the bridge from the old platform to the new platform. Robbie, Kelly, myself, and Hannah, who's not here tonight, are trying to do the final steps to move over the website hosting, the back end, membership management, all the membership stuff. So we're still sort of running parallel platforms, hopefully closing that down this month. That's really, you'll be okay. You got this. We'll see, but hopefully. So any questions or comments that you want to share with everyone on?
I had a question regarding the recent, the city council, so they were defunding all the neighborhood council organizations. And yeah.
So we don't know what's happening in 2026 with neighborhood organization funding. But what the council is planning has been saying, and I think it's passed, is that if you are not a 50, neighborhood organizations that take money from the city are not allowed to endorse candidates. Seems relatively obvious, but that hasn't been the case everywhere. We as OPA have never endorsed a candidate. We are a 501c3 charitable organization, which is prohibited from doing so. And city council members have been saying, in order to receive funding, you should be a 501c3 and commit to that. So we think we're going to get funding next year from the city, but we don't know yet. That hasn't been locked in stone. We're in as good of graces as possible with the city, should funding be coming out, but it's still an unknown.
Only two of the, of us are 501c3s. I think Pico
Yeah.
is also.
Yeah, Pico's also. a
Yeah.
secret.
And so
And they are not, I don't think they're gonna be getting money to the other 501c4s.
I thought there was only, oh, so
there's 7 organizations total, only 2 are 501c3s right now.
12.
The other ones are all 501c4s, and the city wants them to switch over. Or there's some talk of whether they could sign a separate contract saying it's going to cost too much or be too hard to switch over. So commit to honoring the rules that govern a 501c3. I think that's questions. But then over and above that is what funding is going to be available. That's a macro issue that nobody knows yet.
They have a pretty.
So.
Thank you both.
Yeah.
Click those ads.
Yes. Click those ads and we're independent. Any other questions or comments on communication matters? The other positive on the switch to the new platform is we've seen it resulted in a spike of readership. We're up to almost 2,900 people reading, and we're still around a 60% open rate, which in the newsletter world is incredibly strong. So that said, that means there's probably 15,000 people in Ocean Park neighborhood who are not getting the newsletter. So if you know someone, please talk to them about it.
I send it to a bunch of people, so.
Get them to sign up too, so they can click the ads. I'm kidding. But kidding aside, if you bump into people or you're talking to people in the neighborhood, please talk to them about the newsletter. We want everyone to get it. Anything else on communications from anyone? Cool. Jumping over into other committees, there's not a lot of other meetings going on this time of year as people shift into holiday gear. Robbie, was the housing meeting since the last one here or before? Okay. Yeah. So I'll just sort of throw it to the floor if there's anyone from any of the committees or task forces to talk to anything specifically, but I don't think so, right? Cool.
You're gonna say something? Yeah.
He just shook his head no.
Let's get safe.
And where are you
Oh,
going?
well, I was gonna wait till the certificate showed up. We are being recognized again for being good partnership. But I was gonna wait till I had the certificate to show that.
Spoiler alert. Cool. I think that's it on formal business. Opening the floor to some people who I thought there was a couple people that had questions they wanted to bring up later and left. She had to leave.
I'll just make an announcement, and I already mentioned I'm doing this series of photo shoots. So I got a small micro grant from the city to basically highlight the history of Santa Monica through photography. And I decided now that I'm moved to Ocean Park to specifically focus on the Ocean Park community. So I'll talk to some of you afterwards, but if would love to connect, and if you know of places of importance, you know, people who would want to, I've done some portraits, so if you're interested, please let me know. Also, the exhibition is going to happen on December 11th. I'll send out a flyer and include it in the newsletter, but it will be at the Bruce Lurie Gallery on Santa Monica. Yeah, so you're all welcome to attend. It'll be free all day. You can check out the photography, and then I think at 4 p.m. I'm gonna give like a little talk. So you're welcome to come join and it'll be a nice little celebration. That'll be my debut as a member of the community.
Maybe we can include that in the newsletter.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely takes that out.
Any other sort of neighborhood updates or things you've been seeing around that you want to share? I will say I talked to the Casa Lena team or one person from the team this weekend. That's the restaurant that is going to be taking over the old Arial / World Cafe space. They're cranking along. They're hoping to open as quickly as possible early next year, they're saying. Just never know with, all things permitting and build outs. They did say that the space was in pretty bad shape. So, we'll see how long it takes them to get
we closed down for now.
7-ish years.
Long time.
Yeah.
It was a nice spot.
Yeah, and it will be again. 8, yeah. So Castellana, if you don't know them, is Woodland Hills. They've got a restaurant in Woodland Hills. That's a really fun spot with good food. They're hoping to replicate that here.
I'm sorry, is it Mexican?
Yes, no, Mediterranean. Sorry, Mediterranean. I don't know why I said Mexican. I meant to say Mediterranean.
Word on what might be happening with the enterprise.
Permits are on the window. There's work being done. It's a pretty yeah, go for it, whatever. I don't know what I'm allowed to share, so.
No, that's fine. Yeah, basically, it's gonna be it will be not a casino. It will be a really well done, avant-garde performance dinner theater type of thing. Yeah, it'll be a kind of a world-class, it'll be a world-class menu that combines elements of live performance and it'll be great. It's the people involved are top notch, and that's all I'll say about that.
Those are very popular in Paris.
Huh?
Very popular in Paris. Like
That is excellent, excellent observation, and it may very well be similar to a place currently in Paris. If you are so inclined to.
I've lived there here.
Oh.
Cool. Christina.
In other news, if you guys are interested in local high school theater, Samo High, their show, The Play That Goes Wrong, it's a play within a play, is this weekend and next weekend, and it's supposed to be like pretty funny actually, is what I'm told. So if you go to samohightheater.org, you can get your tickets. There's 6 shows. So
Cool. Judy.
There is a committee that is forming for an LGBTQ committee through the church in Ocean Park that is going to be doing some kind of programming next year. So if you know people who might want to be organizing around LGBTQ stuff, let me know.
I think that's it on business. Slightly outside of Ocean Park, I went to the Museum of Illusions this past weekend, which just opened on 3rd Street. And I was really impressed. I was there without a child and I had a blast. It was really good. It's an experience. It's not really a museum. Like it's a bunch of like quirky, fun rooms and things. Some of it's more like focused on Instagrammable stuff. Like you get some funky, fun pictures, but there's also an educational component where like all of the illusions, they also explain the illusion and what's going into it and either how it's tricking your mind or tricking the camera. And I was actually really impressed. So if you're looking for something fun to check out, I'm putting on my DTSM hat and saying, go down to 3rd Street and check it out and grab a drink while you can in the EZ zone.
You know how long it's there? Is that
Permanently. Yeah, and the owner of that building is hoping to then on the 2nd floor build like a related speakeasy that may even have some sort of like illusionist component to it. So cool. If that's everything, do we have a motion not so quickly. Kelly shared the October minutes. I think Jeff's jumping ahead to adjourning because they're always so perfect. There's no comments or thought needed to it. But do we have a motion to accept the October minutes from Kelly? Robbie, and then Tony second. Board members only, all in favor to accept the minutes. Any opposed? Cool. Unless there's anything else, last chance to speak up on anything other than Jeff. Do we have a motion to adjourn the final meeting of the year? Jeff, Lucy second, all in favor. Thank you, everyone. See you December 7th.
I actually heard something from the people who are here, there's like a store there, so I got something.